Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the Banter Show. And tonight was the A.G.M for the SOS Daisy Hill Committee. And I'll have to say, a very, very positive evening. Very positive. Things are looking a lot more brighter for us and safer for the local people around here and the surrounding counties. So we're going to call on our dear friend Eddie Curtis to give you all an update, friends. Here he comes. Here's our good mate, Eddie.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back to update you on the A.G.M of SOS. The meeting was held at 7:30 tonight in the Bank Bar. I would personally like to thank everybody for attending and obviously for asking all of the questions and listening to all of the items of work that we have been doing over the past year. The number one item that I raised tonight was the strength of the new relationship we have with the new CEO out of the Trust. We've had very successful meetings with him, and the new CEO has agreed to meet with us on a regular basis every quarter to allow us to put points to him that are being raised by the members of the public, and to ensure that we are going to report that back to you. The next item up is where we're talking about infrastructure and upgrades. We updated the meeting to confirm that the new electric supply is virtually completed. That was a £9 billion scheme and secures electric to the hospital for the next number of years. We also updated everybody by telling them that the new CEO has informed us that new lifts are being installed for patients to evacuate them in emergency circumstances, which is very, very good. The MRI is working very, very well, and we're pressing hard for the Trust to consider installing that on a permanent basis, because it is of great assistance for the diagnosis of illnesses and allows the consultants to act much, much quicker. So that's something we'll be keeping you up to date with. At our last meeting with the Trust, we reported that the labs were only operating between 9 and 6. That's where all of your bloods are sent to be tested. We're pleased to see that the labs are now going to be operating 24/7, 365, which is tremendous news for the A&E department, because it allows them to manage the patients in a very effective, very safe and very fast way. So again, we're very pleased with that. The health hub, which was to come to Newry, it's going to be put into the old Abbey football fields next to the Abbey Primary School. We've been informed that it will take at least 13 months for that to happen, and we will keep our eye on that, and we'll put that on the agenda for our quarterly meetings with the Trust. And it's an item that we as a committee tonight agreed would be very high on our strategy and our agenda, to ensure that the health hub is brought into the city of Newry to provide all of the treatment for the people who live in our area. Accident and emergency, we're pleased to report, has a full complement of staff, and I would like to congratulate all of the staff in A&E, because recently the reports are showing that it is one of the best in Northern Ireland, if not the best. That is a tremendous achievement for all of us involved, because, as you know, a number of years ago A&E was under threat. We're now fully satisfied that we have the full staff that we need, and we have the expertise that is needed to treat everybody in this area. We also raised the item of locum staff. There are a large number of locum doctors and consultants in there at the moment. We would rather they are made permanent, because when they become permanent, they have a commitment to the hospital. So again, that's something that will be high on our agenda, and we will be reporting back on that. We were pleased to hear at our meeting with Steve that care in the community, care at home, will be significantly extended. This is where people who have had surgery, and elderly particularly, can get home very quick, because all the research shows that anybody who gets a treatment at home, their recovery is much, much faster, and it is something that we will be continuing to monitor and make sure that it is going to be increased over the next number of months. Clinical and patient services, we currently have 104 beds inside of Daisy Hill. That is insufficient, and the Chief Executive has admitted that. Currently there's approximately 148 to 150 inside of the hospital, so that proves that there's a need for the additional bed space, and that's something that we will keep on our agenda, and we will report that back to you. We were very pleased at our meeting with the CEO to learn that already he has implemented the winter escalation plan. That means that the services are ready for any eventuality over the winter period. Obviously, illness and sickness increases from September on through to the end of March. So that plan is in place and is working, and we look forward to it being implemented fully, because it gives us the confidence that anybody who's taken up to Daisy Hill during this period will receive the treatment that they need. There are urgent requirements for improvements in the A&E waiting area, and we did raise that with the CEO. So again, that's something we're going to look at. It's not an easy solution because of the lack of space, but it's something that the CEO accepted needs to be looked at, and we put that onto the agenda for the next meeting. We're pleased to announce as well that stroke services is still available inside of A&E. As you know, they were transferred to Craigavon, but anybody who goes to A&E who has had a stroke and needs the treatment immediately, that will be available for us, and that is a major success for the SOS committee. Maternity services is a very sensitive subject, as you will all understand. A number of months ago, there was an attempt by the former CEO to move maternity services out of Daisy Hill to Craigavon. This is something that we raised immediately, and we were very fortunate to be informed that maternity services will be staying. However, if that situation is to change in any way, we made it very clear to the CEO, this is something that the people out of the Newry and Mourne area will not accept, because you will no longer be able to say that you're born and bred in Newry City. So we'll keep you updated on that, but I have to congratulate the CEO again, because he's watching that on a weekly basis to make sure that the complement of staff is available for that service to make it as safe as it possibly can. Professor Mark Taylor recently announced that additional funding will be made available to get the numbers on the waiting list down, and we were pleased to hear that Steve, the CEO, has already been on looking for additional funding, attempting to bring more finance, more elective surgery in to Daisy Hill, and that can only be something that would be brilliant for us. Another major item on our agenda is cross-border developments. We're very pleased that the CEO has met with staff in the south of Ireland out of the medicine sector, and he is looking at a number of initiatives to bring additional services from the south of Ireland in to Daisy Hill, and that's something that we would be very willing to support. And again, we will be updating you on that on a regular basis. At the annual meeting, I had the pleasure of thanking Tony Smith from The Banter Show. Tony is a crucial part of our PR. He makes himself available at very short notice and has never said no to any interview, because his videos provide much needed information for all the members of the public. I also thank the members of the SOS committee for attending the meetings on such a regular basis and making themselves available. One can only say, without their help, their assistance and their direction, we as a committee would not be as successful as we are. We'd also like to thank the Downies for the use of the bank bar. They make it available free of charge at any time that we want, and we thank them for their continued support. Our closing thoughts at the meeting tonight is that we've now reached the stage where we're looking at positivity about Daisy Hill and not negativity. Let's make it very clear. Daisy Hill Hospital is not going anywhere. It is not closing. Our improvements are working, and we will continue to ensure you, the members of the public, that we will hold Daisy Hill very high on our agenda, and we will do everything we can to ensure it is developed further for the future. And my final thank you is to you, the members of the public, who have continued to thank us on any initiative that we've asked for your support. For example, when we had the parade on emergency surgery, there was 10,000 of you come out onto the streets. That's the sort of numbers that we need to show our elected members, our MPs, our MLAs, that we want Daisy Hill to develop, we want it to grow, and we want to have a health service of 21st century standard for the people who live in our area. So thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to updating you again in the future.
Thanks again, Eddie, for your sterling work. Greatly appreciated, and the SOS committee and the SOS Daisy Hill committee. And once again, we can't thank the Downey family and the bank bar, the wonderful staff, their amazing staff. The food's great too, I have to say, in their service. So thank you again to the Downey family, making the bank bar readily available for the SOS Daisy Hill committee. So friends, all I've got left to say is there's another year over. We will continue to monitor and fight for anything that gets taken out of Daisy Hill. When we have a few services we do want restored. So the fight continues. So thanks again, friends, and please share this video to let everybody around the area know. And once again, thanks again, Eddie. Appreciate all you do on the SOS committee. Until then, friends, it's a big razor. We're out of here.